Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. We got Joe Rogan sitting down, talking real quick about the Trump hush money trial. And when you actually dig into that trial, what it's all about really, it really gives into that notion of a witch hunt. A lot of people hear Trump say witch hunt. They hear his lawyers say witch hunt, and they're just like, yeah, of course you would say that. But even if you're in the center, even if you're left, when you actually break down what it is, it's hard to have that whole notion of, don't do the crime if you can't do the. It's really odd. So Joe Rogan's just going to break it down real quick, and then I am going to show a video of Trump because it's been about a week, 8 days since the trial, so they're wrapping up the first week. So I'm going to show Trump and what he thinks about everything that's been going on. Then I'm going to show a very fiery clip of his lawyer also giving a piece of her mind to what's going on. And believe me, you definitely want to hear that. And then I'm just going to go into why Alvin Bragg brought this indictment forward. Okay, let's just get into that real quick. Don't forget about the new channel I got, Coach COLIN Media. There's a link in the description. We got 54 videos right now. You could binge watch those as long as you hit that subscribe button. And even if you don't, quite honestly, we all know how YouTube works. Now let's get into the Rogan clip.
Is also wild. Yeah, what's the unofficial?
Her and her family were not harmed when a suspect gained entry. I like how I said that. Gained entry. He gained
crazy.
access. He broke into your fucking house. The Getty House, the LA mayor's official residence on Irving Boulevard around 6:40 a.m. this morning. First of all, that's ridiculous that you have a place where everybody knows you're going to be because it's the mayor house.
Yeah.
But you got to stay in the mayor house.
Yeah, but no one should get in. We all know where the president's staying. Yeah. We're not getting in.
I hung out with the governor when I first moved to Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And the governor lives in the governor's mansion. And so you got to go to the governor's mansion. You're going through all the security. They're frisking you, taking stuff out of your pockets.
Yeah, of course.
Gops and everything. I'm like, how crazy is it that you're staying in this spot where everybody knows where you are? And then while I was hanging out with him, a drone flew over the balcony.
Get the fuck out of here.
It turned out it was the fire department. They were doing something with drones. So they scan for fires and shit. And I don't know what they do. But I was like, this is crazy. Do you have to deal with this all the time? Is a drone in front of your fucking house?
Yeah.
I'd get a shot.
I remember watching a presidential debate. It was Obama and Romney, I think. And then we were at the Village Lantern where we came up. And then my boy Michael Blaustein points at the TV and he goes, why would anyone want this? And I was like, yo, that's a good point. All that to leave my house. Yeah. So it's drones flying over my house, a level of scrutiny. Anytime I say, people are jumping all. Remember they were jumping on Barack because he said, a lot? Yeah. They're just all over him. It's like, dog, can I live?
Imagine that now. You see how bad Biden is at speaking?
Yeah. It's rough, dude.
I got hairy legs.
It's so rough to watch. It's so rough to watch.
Imagine if Obama came along and people complained about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait a minute. How do you not complain about this guy?
That's true.
This is ridiculous.
I've heard you say, I think Michelle should run.
She could win. She could win. I think if she won, I think if she ran, she could win.
Yeah, I don't
think she wants that though.
No,
I don't think she wants that in her life.
Which is
the bullshit that they dealt with over the 8 years when he was president.
Yeah.
Fuck all that. Fuck that job for anybody that that like really would really good at it.
Yeah, I trust the person who doesn't want the job more than the person who wants the job.
I mean, you have to be like real desperate to change the world.
Yeah.
And be a good person and an actual good candidate to understand that they're going to come for you.
Yeah.
Like the way they're coming for Trump right now.
Yeah.
This thing that they're doing right now with the criminal trial for the hush money payment, this is essentially the way it is. It's like he incorrectly labeled a payment on, it's like a ledger thing. It's not even like it's illegal to pay someone to shut up. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is, it's like how he recorded what that payment was for.
I don't know enough about the trial to know. But I think what a casual observer like myself would say is, this seems like a witch hunt. And I don't think if your strategy is to make Trump not win an election, I think that only emboldens his support. People who are on the fence might be like, they really are trying to get this guy. He's right when he says all this stuff.
They're definitely trying to get him. But if you look at what's going on in New York crime-wise, look at the bail situation. Like those two guys that beat up the cops, the illegal immigrants, that beat up the...
out on bail. Listen, as they were talking, that first thing that they were talking about, in case you're a little in the dark, the mayor of LA house got robbed twice. What? So this is the second time her house has been robbed. I don't even understand how the Democratic mayor isn't just like, we need a Republican in here. We need a Republican here ASAP. My house has been robbed twice. I'm talking about people went into her house. She could have been there. It could have been way worse. could have been after her. There's just so many things wrong with this. But that's LA for you, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Listen, let's get into the Trump video. Like I said, this is the wrap up of the first week. Right now it is Saturday, and it just wrapped up on Friday. Trump is going to give his closing remarks after being in court all day. I could not imagine this type of life. Let's get into it.
Walking up to the cameras. It is Friday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Let's listen in.
So thank you very much. This is 8 days that we've all been sitting in this courthouse. This is all a Biden indictment. It's in order to try and win an election, political opponent, and nothing like this has ever happened. 8 days. As you know, the economy's falling apart now. Now you're seeing it, very little growth. It's going to get worse. Oil prices are going up. You have the college campuses all over closed down. Our country is going to hell. And we sit here day after day after day, which is their plan. Because they think they might be able to eke out an election, but I doubt it, because the poll numbers are very good for us. I just want to say that I've invited Biden to debate. He can do it anytime he wants, including tonight. I'm ready. Here we are. I invited him to the courthouse that he has us tied up in with his administration. This is all being done through Washington. It's all a well-coordinated attack on a political opponent. But I'm here. I'm ready, willing, and able. And if he wants, I'll do it on Monday night, Tuesday night, or Wednesday night. We'll be in Michigan, a state that he's destroyed because of the auto industry. We're not going to have any jobs left in Michigan. No auto jobs left in Michigan. They're all going over to China and other places with this ridiculous EV mandate, electric vehicle mandate. But we're willing to do it Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, or Friday night on national television. We're ready. Just tell me where. We'll do it in the White House. That would be very comfortable, actually. But you tell me where. But we're ready. He's obviously not showing up now. We heard nothing. But he said today that, I'd love to debate, but he won't debate. I don't think he'll debate. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. I'm not sure he has a choice. But that's the story. So here we are. We're ready, willing, and able. And we don't see him, and I don't think he'll be here. But maybe next week he'll do it. I doubt it, but maybe next week. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I know you have to suffer through this like everybody else. Nothing has come. This is a case that should have never been brought. Every legal scholar, every legal expert, Andy McCarthy, Jonathan, Andy, every single one. Jonathan Turley came out with a scathing report on this trial today. Andy McCarthy's scathing report. Mark Levin, can't believe this is happening in our country. There's no case here. There's no case whatsoever. It's a disgrace. We have a conflicted judge, and it shouldn't be happening. Not in this country. Thank you very much.
Do you think you beat Biden in a debate? What do you think of the witnesses so far?
That person's question. You think he can beat Biden in the debate? Come on. Honestly. And listen, that was about the case. But also, for those of you that don't know, Donald Trump wanted to debate Biden. And everybody wants that because that's what presidents should have to do. So people can make real informed decisions, talk about policy, go back and forth and see how they handle themselves in a conflict like that. Biden actually went on the Howard Stern show and agreed to debate Trump. He said, yeah, I'm going to, don't know where, don't know when, but I'm going to make it happen. So Trump right away is ready to go. And I have to just say, they are close in age, but you see how, undeniably how different they are in regards to energy, being able to do things. Trump has been in court all day, and after hours in court, coming out to the press, flashing cameras. He's like, tell me where and when. We can do it today. I'll wait around. You can go tomorrow. He actually said that. He goes, after court, we can do it right after court if you want. He goes, I'm in New York. You're in New York. Let's go. So Trump is ready to go after hours of being in court. He wants to do it early as next week that's coming. I don't think that's going to happen. People think it's not going to happen at all. I think it actually has to happen. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's aside from what we were talking about. It's about the case. And again, he's also on gag order, so he can't even say everything he wants to say about the case, which is also very telling, because I've talked about this at length, how this is more about narrative and optics. If you're just looking at one guy, he's the president, you know, no matter what gaffes you see and what stumbles, he is the president, and he's just running the country. Whether you feel that's bad or good, that's aside from the point. It's the optics. He's running the country. He's not a criminal. The other guy, they're trying to make him look like a criminal. They're trying to make it seem like, look at him. He's in all these court cases. He's been in court the whole time. You gonna vote for someone who's been in court the whole time? Like, that's the kind of optics they're trying to go with. That's why they decided to bring these cases out now. Because if you don't know, they already said no. Other DAs said no to these cases. They looked and they said there's not enough here to pursue anything. But they don't care about that. They're just like, can we stop him from campaigning if he's in these cases? Yes, for the most part we can. Like, this case is actually making it so he can't campaign. There's many places he's supposed to go. He hasn't been able to go there. Son's graduation, won't be able to see that. His wife's birthday, wasn't able to be with her through that. So they're keeping him very controlled. He can't get around. He's made the best of it. He's visited some bodegas. He's done a lot of things in New York. You know, people are loving it. Definitely has flipped New York. Undoubtedly. I'd be so surprised if New York was still blue, especially after having Trump there for so long and doing all the gatherings that he's done. But yeah, it's just the optics. That's what they're looking for. Stop him from campaigning, make him look like a criminal, keep him wrapped up until close to November. And the whole while, Biden's on Howard Stern. He's doing dinners. He's doing this, that. It's all about the optics. Now, I'm going to get into another clip here. Lawyer talking very, very fiercely. She's mad. I'm going to turn the captions on. Might be a little hard to understand her. Let's go.
He should not have two teams of lawyers here today. He should not even be here today because he did not. He should not have two teams of lawyers here today. He should not even be here today because he did nothing wrong. It is the epitome of a witch hunt. I just left where a judge asked us whether our cash bond, cash sitting in. Miss James wanted to argue and say that our cash somehow isn't green enough. We wasted time. The judge made a comment saying he thought that money market accounts could go down under the amount. He doesn't even understand basic principles of finance. But this was the man that decided that we owed money and my client committed fraud. We are going to attack every single one. 1 hour, the attorney general and that judge realized quickly that they had no idea what they were talking about. We came to an agreement that everything would be the same. We would modify terms, and that was it. This is where your taxpaying dollars are going, America. Right here. Witch hunt after witch hunt. President Trump's company was worth more in that case than it is now. And now what? We're here because of something that happened when he was in the White House that wasn't even wrong. It was not wrong. You hire lawyers to solve problems, lawyers solve those problems, you pay them. That's it. This is a joke. It's an affront to the American Constitution. It's an affront to our judicial system. And it's an affront to every lawyer that cares about their license, that cares about what is right and wrong. I am sick of coming in front of the press and saying this, but you have to because you people need to understand what is going on. God forbid you put an accounting thing in for legal counsel. It's legal counsel. And now our taxpayer dollars, my time, our attorney's fees, are all here because they're afraid of 2024. And you know what? They should be because the American people are not stupid. They see what's going on. Thank you.
Not playing around at all. Very angry lady. And she's correct. You know, I kept hearing that, like, oh, he just marked something down wrong. You know, Joe said it. She's just said it. Trump said it day one of the trial. When he was trying to tell people what this is really about, because he's allowed to at least say that much. But then I looked into it. I'm like, well, what is it that they're talking about? Like legal counsel, legal expense. But apparently the falsification is the fact that he put in legal expense in regards to what's going on with Stormy Daniels. Now look at this here in this article. So falsifying business record is not always a felony, but if the intent to defraud includes an intent to commit another crime or to aid or conceal the commission, therefore, it can be charged as one, as it was in each charges against Trump, right? So, what is the other crime? It isn't articulated in the criminal indictment. The DA, Alvin Bragg, was somewhat vague when the indictment was handed down, saying that the intent was to conceal crimes that hid damaging information from the voting public during the 2016 election. Here's the thing, though, right? It's actually, what he did is not a crime. So all alleged, because I'm not a lawyer and I'm not in the case, but if you are paying some lady to not talk about some wild escapades that you had, that's not a crime. If your lawyer is the one who decided, okay, let's make a deal, and then he reports back to you and says, okay, I talked to her, here's the deal, this is how much, and you go, okay, put it on the books, I'll make sure you get it, and everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. And he puts that down as a legal expense because it has to go to his lawyer. And that's what they're taking as a falsification. But again, when you go back to what is the other crime, hiding to conceal crimes that hid damaging information from the voting public during the 2016. But what he did allegedly with this lady is not a crime. That's why he keeps saying he did nothing wrong. He actually didn't do anything wrong. He just wrote something down, and it's not exactly as specific as it could have been. And that's what they're taking as a falsification. And it's just things like that. So again, when you do hear stuff like this, and you realize this is what the case is, it's just like with Mar-a-Lago. It's like, oh, there's some fraud going on here. What happened? Well, we actually think it's worth this much. He said it's worth that much. Oh man, so the bank was out like what, $250 million or something? Well, no, the bank was fine with it and they received all their money, but can't have that. Oh wow, so the bank's really upset. No, they're actually quite happy and they're willing to do business with him again. It's like, oh, so then what's the problem? Well, we just hate Trump. Sorry, I should have said that at the beginning. We hate him with a passion, So when you start seeing case after case, like this is all they are. This is nonsense. It really is a witch hunt. I mean, like Akash said, the gentleman that was talking with Joe Rogan, if you are just somebody who's just like kind of impartial and you're just kind of watching, you're kind of like, huh. Like, especially if you have any sense to just go, oh, as soon as he started running, as soon as it was election time, they did all this. Okay. Makes sense. It seems like you're doing this to your opponent. Like what else does it seem like? I don't know, man. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. That's what's going on right now. Very interesting. And then if we go back to the topic real quick before I go, of Trump versus Biden in the debate, I don't know if Biden wants this. Forget about how each of them are. Forget about energy levels and forget about walking upstairs and, forget about falling down. Forget about all of that stuff. How are you going to answer for the border? Just that alone. What could he possibly say? If Trump says, you undid everything that I did for the border, here are my border numbers. I think Trump had about, I want to say 1.1 million people get through. It might be 1.2, right? And it seems like a lot, but that's been the average. That's been around the average, I don't know, since 2010. So that's been the average. Not in a year either, through his term, through the whole term. So Biden's had about, they say it's I'm rounding up 8 million, right? And that's without getaways because you have no idea how many getaways there could have been. You undid everything that I put in place, remain in Mexico, all that stuff. And now we have this situation. If Trump even has the sense to bring up how many people from the terrorist watch list got caught trying to cross the border and how many could possibly have gotten through, because actually the FBI released a little bit of that, talking about how there's some people who they suspect have gotten through. How does he answer any of that? The debate's over from there. In terms of the American people thinking one guy is worse than the other, how are they going to look at Biden and be like, yeah, that happened and terrorist watch list and everything, but I want to be a good person. Like who's going to be able to cling to that at that point? And this is just one topic that I'm bringing up. There's so many others. I don't get it. Then they're going to talk about inflation, then they're going to talk about the economy. But still, that aside, just the border. Hey, Texas actually took it from 5,000 people getting through every single day down to 10, and you wanted to take away all the barbed wire and all the structures that they put in front to block that river and block their border. What's up with that? That alone. How do you answer that? Yeah, I just wanted more people to come through and, just no one's illegal. Like that talk, that compassionate talk is not going to hold up anymore. In regards to the border, that's not going to hold up anymore because the places that are the most blue are feeling it the worst. So they're done with all that. They're done. I don't know, man. It's going to be something. I can't wait for it to happen. Although, a lot of people are doubtful. I think it's going to happen because he said it, number one. I don't know how he goes back on that. Once he says it in front of millions of people, he's on the Howard Stern show, 33 million viewers, I'm guessing, or 30 million. So once he says it, that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens. But I'm guessing Trump by a landslide. I'm not even getting into how comedic Trump is going to be with him. I'm not even getting into that. I didn't even bring up war. I didn't even bring up war. If Trump has the sense to be like, you said I was going to bring the country to World War III, and look where we are now. How does he answer that? This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyways, guys, just wanted to break down that little bit of the case for you, have a little more understanding. Like, subscribe. It helps tremendously. Share, notifications, all that stuff. I'm out.